Hi boys and girls, I am so excited today to share with you another gingerbread book. Last week we read The Gingerbread Man and we had him running away from lots and lots of things. I know you worked hard on that with your list in your paper that you did last week. Well, now Mrs. Weiss is going to read another gingerbread book. This is called The Gingerbread Baby and the author is Jan Brett. Now Jan Brett is an author that we're going to learn all about when we're back together at HSAP in January. And Jan Brett, I want you to pay attention to the pages here because the author always leaves clues on what is happening. So as Mrs. Weiss is reading it aloud, make sure you're looking at the illustrations, you're looking at the clues to see if you can tell what's going to happen to the gingerbread baby. All right. It even has a surprise at the end. So here we go, The Gingerbread Baby by Jan Brett. It was cold outside and it was warm inside. A fine day for gingerbread, Maddie thought. Maddie's mother put the big blue bowl on the table and lit the stove. Maddie took down a worn-looking cookbook with an old-fashioned writing on the cover. He opened it up to the page that said, Gingerbread Baby. They measured and mixed. Maddie rolled out the dough in the shape of a gingerbread boy and popped him in the oven. Bake for a full 8 minutes. No more, no less. Do not peek, the recipe said. Maddie listened to the clock. Tick tock, tick tock. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3, 4, 5. Maddie couldn't wait any longer. He opened the oven door to take a peek. Instead of a gingerbread boy, out jumped a gingerbread baby. He pranced around the big blue bowl. I'm the gingerbread baby, fresh from the pan. If you want me, catch me if you can. He's kind of showing off a little bit there. Maddie's mother reached for the gingerbread baby to put him back in the oven, but he ran all around the kitchen. The door opened and in came Maddie's father. What's that delicious smell? He asked as the gingerbread baby tumbled through his legs and outside into the yard. He ran by the tabby cat. She twitched her tail and sprang at him. They rumbled and tumbled, but the gingerbread baby came out on top. He ran to the garden wall. The dog caught a whiff of the tasty ginger and he sniffed along behind him. But the gingerbread baby was halfway up when the dog caught up. He barked and barked as the gingerbread baby climbed over the wall. He's got lots of people and things chasing him. Maddie was still inside. He heard his mother and father yelling. He heard a cat meowing and a dog barking. And he heard the gingerbread baby shouting, catch me if you can. Maddie opened up the worn-looking cookbook for the second time. Meanwhile, that gingerbread baby wheeled on the path and into the barn. The goats looked up as he somersaulted across their backs. The last one tried to catch him, but the gingerbread baby was too fast. Martha and Madeline were standing by the well when the gingerbread baby stopped to take a drink. They looked at each other and winked. Martha started to talk to him while Madeline tiptoed up behind him with a bucket. But they could not fool that gingerbread baby. He took a braid from Martha and a braid from Madeline and he tied them in a knot and he ran down the road. He is causing trouble. Back at the house, Maddie stirred and mixed and rolled the dough. He shaped it. He put it in a pan. Tick, tock, tick. 8 long minutes. This time he did not peek. I will catch him if I can, Maddie said to himself. As he was bouncing along, the gingerbread baby saw a farm wagon just ahead. He jumped in and settled down for the ride next to the mama pig. The smell of the delicious ginger was too much for her. She tossed him high in the air. She closed her eyes, opened her mouth, but the gingerbread baby twisted in the air and he came down hard on her snout. Here he is again, showing off. I'm the gingerbread baby. Too quick for the mother and father, too fast for the cat, the dog, the goats, too clever for Martha and Madeline, too smart for the mama pig. Who's left? Catch me if you can. They are not happy with him. Oh, feeling smug, the gingerbread baby strolled along by himself until he came to a bridge that crossed the village. Just as he got to the middle, he heard running feet behind him. The gingerbread baby was trapped. He jumped onto the railing. He backflipped through the air. Do you see him? And he landed on a piece of ice floating down the river. The ice bobbed along with the gingerbread baby, dancing on top and singing in a loud voice, "Look at me, and what do you see? The best gingerbread baby ever." Then his feet got cold and he jumped ashore. But who was watching from the trees? It was the fox. He crept up behind the gingerbread baby, ready to eat him up. But the fox couldn't help himself, and he licked his chops. Smack, smack. The gingerbread baby heard him, and he ran as fast as he could. Just when the fox was catching up, the gingerbread baby saw the milk and cheese man with a can of milk. Oh, it's the perfect hiding place, he thought. He lifted the lid, and he lowered himself inside. He was so pleased with himself that he sang at the top of his gingerbread voice. "Ha, ha, he. You'll never find me. I'm the gingerbread baby. Catch me if you can." So braggy. The milk and cheese man heard the gingerbread baby's voice. "Who's meddling with my milk?" he shouted, and he lifted the lid. But the gingerbread baby was ready. He jumped up and tweaked his nose. That was not very nice. Oh my, he is in trouble. Now, the milk and cheese man, the fox, the villagers, the mama pig, Martha and Madeline, the bleeding goats, the barking dog, the meowing cat, the father and mother were all after the gingerbread baby, and they were getting closer. And he knew it. The brash baby was not as peppy and proud as he had been. He sniffed a familiar smell, and he followed his nose into the woods. He couldn't believe what he saw. There in the middle of the clearing was a gingerbread house, frosted with sugar, covered with candy, and doors with peppermint handles wide open. The gingerbread baby clapped his hands with glee, and he ran inside. Oh, do you see who's watching? Jan Brett, the author, likes to give her clues. In a tick-tock-tick, everyone arrived in the clearing, but all they found were a few bits of frosting, a peppermint candy, and some crumbs. The father exclaimed, "That gingerbread baby has finally met his match." "I wonder who it was," the mother said. "Let's go home and tell Maddie." "Hello, Maddie," his father said when they got home. "We never did catch that gingerbread baby. All we found were some crumbs in the snow." "Oh, I see you've been busy," his mother said, looking at the gingerbread house Maddie was holding. "It's too bad we never caught that gingerbread baby." "Yes, too bad," said Maddie. Only Maddie could hear the tiny voice from inside the gingerbread house. "I'm the gingerbread baby, lucky as can be to be living in the house that Maddie made for me." Oh, boys and girls, that was such a good surprise. Now I want you to think about, because we're going to have a talk about this. What was the same between these books? Think about what was the same. And then think about what was different. And we're going to talk about that next time, because I definitely want to hear your thoughts. All right, thanks for listening. Bye-bye.